9 things men should never do with women. The Stoicism. Old Stoic wisdom. Love is not about how much you can give, but how much you can understand and respect. Iserania. When it comes to attracting a woman, there's one key difference between those who seem to effortlessly draw her in and those who continually struggle, knowing what not to do. While much of the advice out there focuses on strategies to be more confident, impress her, or keep her intrigued, the real secret often lies in avoiding the missteps that can turn attraction into indifference. The truth is, attraction isn't just about doing the right things, it's just as much about refraining from the wrong ones. And here's where many men miss the mark. They believe that more effort will always lead to better results. This idea that being overly nice, giving too much, or bending over backward to please her will somehow win her affection is misguided. In fact, these actions often have the opposite effect, and some behaviours can completely extinguish any spark of interest. The harsh reality: most men don't even realise they're sabotaging their chances. They wonder why she seems distant, or why she's pulling away, only to realise, too late, that their actions were the root cause. So let's cut through the clutter. If you want a woman's respect, genuine attraction, and a meaningful connection, there are certain things you must never do. Avoid these mistakes, and you'll be well on your way to building a healthy, lasting dynamic. Let's get started. Thing 1. Never seek validation from her. One of the most damaging habits a man can fall into when it comes to relationships is the subtle yet pervasive tendency to seek validation from his partner. The truth is, validation seeking is a silent attraction killer, and the worst part is that many men don't even realise they're doing it. This behaviour manifests in various forms, constantly needing reassurance. Do you still like me? Questioning whether she's upset with you. Are you mad at me? Over-explaining your actions. I just wanted to make sure you didn't misunderstand me. Asking for permission to be yourself. Is it okay if I say this? Or fishing for compliments. Do you think I'm funny? Am I attractive? At its core, seeking validation stems from insecurity. It's a way of placing your emotional well-being in her hands, rather than standing firm in who you truly are. Unfortunately, this behaviour can erode the attraction and dynamic in the relationship. Women, by nature, don't want to feel like they have to act as your emotional caretaker. The moment a woman senses she's responsible for constantly validating your self-worth, the emotional spark begins to fizzle. What she truly craves is a man who already knows his own value, who doesn't need external approval to feel good about himself. She wants a man who is emotionally self-sufficient and grounded in his own identity, not someone who is constantly seeking affirmation from her to feel secure. So how can you break free from this damaging cycle? The first step is to detach from her reactions. For instance, if you say something humorous, resist the urge to look at her for immediate validation. If you make a decision, don't second-guess yourself based on her opinion or approval. Instead, stand firm in your actions, thoughts, and decisions. This doesn't mean ignoring her or disregarding her feelings. It means learning to trust yourself and your instincts, regardless of how she responds. Confidence isn't about arrogance or dismissing her feelings. It's about being secure in your own sense of self, independent of her approval. When you stop seeking validation, something powerful happens. You become the man who gives validation, not the one who endlessly seeks it. Rather than constantly fishing for compliments or reassurance, take the initiative to recognize her depth. Compliment her not only on her appearance, but also on her character, her intellect, and her personality. This shift in perspective shows that you see her as a full person, not just someone who is there to boost your self-esteem. As you grow in confidence, you'll find that the dynamic in your relationship changes. When you no longer rely on her to confirm your worth, you become more attractive to her. This kind of self-assurance naturally commands respect, and it's that respect that sparks attraction. It's essential to understand that true confidence is magnetic. It's not about being boastful or showing off. It's about being secure in who you are and being unapologetic about it. When you cultivate this type of confidence, you'll find that not only does your relationship with her improve, but your overall interactions with people in your life will change for the better. In life, there's a famous quote by the philosopher Ralph Waldo Emerson: "Self-trust is the first secret of success." This simple yet powerful statement captures the essence of why seeking validation from others is detrimental to your well-being. When you don't trust yourself, you become vulnerable to constantly seeking approval from others, which only weakens your self-esteem and attraction. Conversely, when you trust in your own worth, you become a man who commands respect and admiration, and those around you, whether friends, colleagues, or romantic partners, are naturally drawn to your energy. Confidence is a muscle that requires regular practice. Start small, notice the moments when you feel tempted to seek validation from her, and challenge yourself to refrain. Each time you resist the urge to fish for compliments or seek reassurance, you strengthen your sense of self. Over time, this will become second nature, and you'll find that your relationships flourish as a result. Instead of clinging to her approval, you'll be the man who offers emotional stability and strength. In turn, she will be more drawn to you, as she will admire your emotional resilience and maturity. To sum it up, never seek validation from her, or anyone else for that matter. Instead, build your own sense of worth from within. Cultivate the confidence that comes from standing firm in your own identity. Show her that you are secure in who you are, independent of her or anyone else's opinion. The more you embrace your own value, the more attractive you become, not just to her, but to the world at large. And in doing so, you'll experience a shift in your relationships and your life. Confidence isn't about being perfect or never making mistakes. It's about knowing that you are enough no matter what. Thing 2. Never put her on a pedestal. When it comes to relationships, there's a prevailing yet flawed belief that many men hold on to. The idea that by treating a woman like royalty, she will reciprocate with the same reverence. While this might sound appealing, it's crucial to recognize that when you elevate a woman to a pedestal, you inadvertently place yourself beneath her. This imbalance creates a dynamic that's neither healthy nor attractive. The truth is, attraction isn't fostered by worship or blind admiration. It's grounded in mutual respect. A woman cannot genuinely respect a man who constantly positions her as above him. It's simply not how respect works. Respect is earned, not given freely based on one-sided devotion. This doesn't imply that you should treat her poorly, but rather, it's about treating her as an equal, a fellow human being, rather than placing her on a divine pedestal. Women don't want to be worshipped. They want to be challenged, intrigued, and engaged in a meaningful way. The desire is for a partner who walks beside them, not one who bows down to their every whim. So how do you break the habit of putting her on a pedestal? Start by recognizing that over-complimenting her is a trap. When you shower her with constant praise, it loses its significance over time. Compliments, when genuine and rare, have the most impact. They need to feel earned, like you truly appreciate something about her, rather than making her feel like she's out of your reach. And more importantly, don't make her the center of your world. Many men who fall into the trap of putting women on pedestals are often doing so because they lack their own directional purpose. To avoid this, create a life of your own, be busy, set goals, and pursue your passions. A strong man has his own life, and when you're focused on your own growth, you naturally shift away from placing her above you. Moreover, don't be afraid to call her out when necessary. Respect goes both ways, and if she exhibits disrespectful behavior or acts entitled, it's essential to speak up. This isn't about being combative. Rather, it's about establishing boundaries and making it clear that you won't tolerate behavior that diminishes you or the relationship. A woman will respect you far more for standing your ground and asserting your boundaries than for simply being agreeable or passive. Remember, a woman is not attracted to a man who merely worships her. She's attracted to the man who makes her feel something real. This kind of attraction is based on authenticity, not fantasy or the idealized version of a partner. It's about real connections that come from genuine interactions, not from the creation of an unrealistic, pedestal-based dynamic. In modern life, where superficiality often reigns, It's easy to fall into the trap of idealizing someone, but true respect and genuine connection are always built on the foundation of equality, mutual growth, and shared boundaries. This, ultimately, is where the deepest and most enduring attraction lies. Thing 3. Never let her control the relationship. In the delicate dance between a man and a woman, there is one truth you must always carry with you. Never let her control the relationship. A woman, in her own way, will test you. It's not because she's manipulative or cruel, but because she needs to know who you truly are beneath the surface. She will challenge your patience, your confidence, and most importantly, your ability to stand firm in your beliefs and decisions. You must understand this. When you falter, when you fail to assert yourself and bend to her will, her respect for you will crumble. And once that respect is gone, the foundation of the relationship weakens. A woman does not want to lead the relationship. She wants to trust that you can. She wants to see you as a man who has a direction, a purpose, and the unshakable confidence to follow that path, no matter the obstacles that may come. This is the essence of leadership. True leadership is not about control. It's about guiding the relationship, setting the tone, and being unwavering in your course. It's about demonstrating, with every action, that you are a man who knows where he is going and is not afraid to get there. But too often, men fall into the trap of appeasing, of agreeing with everything she says to keep the peace, of letting her make all the decisions out of fear of upsetting her. This is a sign of weakness. You cannot lead if you are constantly apologizing when you've done nothing wrong, if you are constantly putting her needs and desires above your own, without regard for your own principles. Consider the words of Marcus Aurelius, one of the most respected Stoics. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Strength, my friend, lies in your ability to maintain your inner power, to assert yourself without arrogance, to stand firm in the face of challenges, and to remain undeterred in the face of her tests. This is the mark of a true leader. In the modern world, where everything seems to be about making everyone happy, you must stand out by embracing your own path. Let's be clear. This is not about being stubborn, prideful, or unyielding for the sake of it. It's about knowing when to compromise, but also knowing when to draw the line and hold your ground. It's about striking a balance between strength and humility, assertiveness and empathy. The true leader is not the one who dominates at every turn, but the one who knows when to lead, when to listen, and when to act decisively. This is where the modern man fails the most. In today's age of social media and constant communication, it's easier than ever to get lost in the chaos of pleasing others. But you must remain resolute. In relationships, you are not a passive participant waiting for someone else to dictate the terms. You are the architect of your life, the one who shapes your own destiny. If you let her lead, you risk everything: your self-respect, her respect, and ultimately, the stability of the relationship. The choice is yours. Will you be the man who can lead with strength, the man who stands firm when it matters most? Or will you be the man who loses his way in an attempt to avoid conflict? Remember this: the first and greatest victory is to conquer yourself. This is the core of Stoic philosophy, and it's the foundation of your leadership. It's time to step up. Assert your direction and lead the relationship with purpose. Like, comment, and subscribe if you agree with the power of leadership in relationships. Let's be clear. If you truly want to succeed, you must be the one in control of your path. Say it with me now. I am the leader of my own life and relationships. Thing 4. Never be afraid to walk away. Nothing destroys attraction faster than a man who is afraid to lose a woman. Men who fear losing a woman will compromise themselves, tolerate disrespect, and put up with situations that drain them, all in the name of keeping her around. But here's the paradox. The man who is least afraid to lose a woman is the one who keeps her the longest. Why? Because she knows he's not with her out of desperation. He's with her by choice. A man who stays because he wants to, not because he needs to, is a man who commands respect, and respect is the foundation of all attraction. But when you fear losing her, you become too agreeable. You stop setting boundaries. You let disrespect slide. You tolerate bad behavior because you don't want to rock the boat. In doing so, you show her something dangerous. Your self-worth is tied to her presence. Walking away is powerful. Walking away isn't about playing games. It's not about making her chase you or proving some kind of point. It's about self-respect. When a man walks away, he's saying, I have standards, I have boundaries, and if they're not met, I'm gone. This does something powerful to a woman's psychology. She realizes this man is rare. Most men tolerate bad behavior. Most men will bend over backward, change their personality, and accept less than they deserve just to keep her around. But a man who can walk away, that's a man who has options. And a man who has options is a man who is naturally attractive. When to walk away. 1. When she disrespects you. Disrespect can come in many forms: dismissing your opinions, mocking your ambitions, constantly testing your patience. The moment you tolerate it, you teach her that it's acceptable. 2. When she plays mind games. If she's constantly hot and cold, if she's stringing you along, if she enjoys making you feel uncertain about where you stand, walk away. These are power plays, not love. 3. When she's no longer interested, or if she's pulling away, not engaging or treating you like an option, match her energy and leave. Never beg for attention. If she values you, she'll notice your absence. How to walk away with strength. 1. Don't announce it, just do it. Weak men try to make a scene or say things like, "You'll regret this." Strong men simply disappear. 2. Don't make it about her, make it about you. You're not walking away to punish her. You're walking away because you refuse to stay in a situation that doesn't serve you. 3. Never look back. One of the biggest mistakes men make is walking away, but then checking in, texting her, or hoping she comes back. If you walk for good. Final truth. A man who can walk away is a man who chooses his own self-respect over temporary comfort, and that is the kind of man a woman never wants to lose. Thing 5. Never be inconsistent with who you are. Women are naturally drawn to men who exude a sense of certainty, but it's not the type of certainty born out of arrogance or shallow bravado. Rather, it's the kind that emanates from a man who truly knows himself, a man who is unwavering, steadfast, and true to his core beliefs, a man who doesn't constantly shift, mold himself, or bend to meet someone else's expectations is far more appealing than one who's unpredictable. If you are inconsistent in your behavior, changing your opinions, humor, or even your values based on who you're around, it will eventually diminish a woman's respect for you. She wants a man who is the same in every situation, someone who can be trusted to remain solid, regardless of external pressures. Think about it. If you're constantly shifting and adapting to fit the mold of others' desires, you're not showing your authentic self, and that's a clear turn-off. The truth is, this inconsistency may not always be visible to you, but it is to her. Often, men believe that being adaptable means they're being considerate, that they're reading the room or smoothing over conflicts. While this may seem like an admirable trait, it can easily lead to a breakdown in authenticity. The more you try to fit in, the more you lose who you really are, and the loss of your authenticity can be the quickest route to eroding attraction. Women, at their core, are wired to seek stability in a partner, not just financial or social stability, but emotional and psychological steadiness. In ancient times, a woman's very survival depended on finding a man who she could trust to stand firm in the face of adversity. This is why women are instinctively drawn to men who remain strong in the face of challenges, men who don't flinch or waver, no matter the situation. Inconsistent behavior signals emotional volatility, something that can make any woman feel unsafe. If one moment you're passionate about deep, meaningful conversations, and the next you're completely uninterested in talking about anything serious, you are sending mixed signals. If you talk about the importance of commitment, but then shy away from any serious relationship talk, or if you exude confidence in a group but show insecurity in private, a woman won't know which version of you to trust. And without trust, there can be no deep attraction. It's important to understand that this doesn't make you a bad person. It just means that you're not offering her the emotional security she craves. This kind of inconsistency in your behavior doesn't just confuse her, it weakens her perception of you. Women, consciously or unconsciously, are always evaluating a potential partner's stability. They need to feel that the man they are with is steady and strong, someone who can weather storms without losing his sense of self. When you act one way in public and another behind closed doors, it disrupts the very foundation of trust and respect in the relationship. She'll begin to doubt your words, second-guess your actions, and, over time, withdraw. This gradual erosion of trust will lead her to question whether the person she's seeing is really who you are, or if you're just playing a role to gain her approval. This kind of emotional inconsistency also signals weakness. Real strength lies not in changing yourself to meet others' expectations, but in adapting to various situations while remaining true to your identity. A man who can seamlessly shift between being the life of the party, a serious professional, or a caring confidant without altering his fundamental self, exhibits true strength. He is adaptable, yes, but he is also authentic. On the other hand, a man who is constantly shifting his behavior depending on his audience or environment shows a need for external validation. This is not strength, but insecurity. It makes a woman feel like she's dealing with someone who is lost or unsure of who he is, and that uncertainty can be a major turn-off. A man who is inconsistent in his actions and words makes a woman feel uncertain about him. If she cannot predict how you will behave or what your true intentions are, she will naturally begin to pull back. Trust takes time to build, but it can be shattered in an instant by inconsistency. As the philosopher Heraclitus once said, character is destiny. Your character, your steadiness, and your authenticity determine the course of your relationships. If your character is marked by inconsistency, it will inevitably lead to a weakening of the bond between you and the woman you are with. Real-life examples abound in relationships where one partner's unpredictability leads to distrust and emotional withdrawal. Consider the times when you've seen or heard of a woman questioning a man's commitment, wondering if his intentions are genuine. This often stems from his inability to maintain a steady, predictable demeanour. He may show her different versions of himself, leaving her unsure of which one is the real man beneath the surface. Over time, this unpredictability causes her to feel unsafe, emotionally exhausted, and less attracted to him. To prevent this, you must be consistent in your actions and true to your character. Stand firm in your values, your beliefs, and your emotions, and don't shift depending on who you're with. Be the same man, whether you're alone with her or in a room full of people. Show up as the man you know yourself to be, and she will be able to trust you more deeply. Trust is the foundation upon which attraction is built, and once it's shaken, it's difficult to regain. If you're ready to show up as the man who stands firm, no matter the situation, drop a comment right now. I am the rock, unshaken and true. Like this video, subscribe for more timeless wisdom, and remember, true strength is found in consistency, not change. 6. The power of being unshakable. In the realm of timeless wisdom, one truth stands unwavering. The most magnetic men in history were those who possessed the unshakable power of being true to themselves, no matter the external pressures. Think of Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor whose leadership was defined not by appeasing the masses, but by remaining steadfast in his Stoic principles. Amidst the chaos and uncertainty of his reign, he never allowed public opinion to dictate his actions. His greatness lay in his ability to stay grounded in what mattered most to him, transcending the fleeting nature of popular sentiment. Bruce Lee, too, embodied this philosophy. While his fighting style was ever evolving, at his core, he was always true to his disciplined mindset, focusing not just on physical strength, but on a balanced and unwavering inner power. Today, The most attractive men are still the ones who stand their ground, not in an aggressive or rigid manner, but in a way that radiates a quiet strength, an internal conviction that says, "This is who I am, and I will continue to grow, evolve, and learn, but I will never lose my essence." That kind of consistency, rooted in self-respect, is rare and deeply compelling. In the modern world, inconsistency can be a man's greatest downfall, especially when it comes to relationships. The key to avoiding this trap lies in defining your values and sticking to them. If you don't know who you are and what you stand for, you'll find yourself susceptible to influence from any direction. Take the time to discover what truly matters to you. What are your principles, your non-negotiables? Once you've defined them, don't abandon them when things get uncomfortable or challenging. Stand firm in your beliefs, whether you're facing a business negotiation or navigating a complex relationship. Consistency is what makes a man reliable and attractive, and it's also what ensures you can weather the storms of life with integrity. Being consistent also means showing up as the same person in all circumstances. Whether you're in the presence of your boss, your closest friends, or a woman you find yourself drawn to, your core self should remain unchanged. While it's natural to adjust your approach based on the situation, such as being more formal with your boss or more relaxed with friends, your character should always be consistent. It's important to adjust how you interact, but never the essence of who you are. Authenticity shines brightest when it's untainted by the need to impress or conform to others' expectations. Equally crucial is aligning your actions with your words. One of the quickest ways to lose respect and attraction is to say one thing and do another. This mismatch creates a sense of distrust and doubt, which is poison to any relationship. If you say you believe in something, live by it. If you commit to something, follow through. Your words are only as powerful as your actions behind them. When your actions are in harmony with what you claim, you demonstrate integrity, and that's what makes you a man who commands respect. Attraction, however, isn't just about what you do, it's about what you refuse to tolerate. The men who become truly magnetic are the ones who know their worth and don't seek validation from others. If you find yourself constantly trying to please a woman, putting her on a pedestal, or letting her control the dynamics of your relationship, you're making a critical mistake. While it's natural to want to be liked and appreciated, losing your sense of self in the process will cause you to lose respect and attraction in the long run. A man who is driven by fear of walking away from a situation, or fear of being alone, compromises his self-respect. The true mark of strength and attraction comes from a man who stands firm in his beliefs, who isn't afraid to walk away when something doesn't align with his values. This is the kind of man who is respected, valued, and remembered. His ability to lead, not out of domination, but through self-respect and unwavering principles, makes him magnetic. Women are drawn to men who can stay true to themselves, men who inspire through their quiet strength and their refusal to compromise on what they believe is right. It is this rare combination of self-assurance and authenticity that makes a man not just desirable, but unforgettable. And if you find today's content very interesting, please give me a word of encouragement by commenting "very interesting" in the comments section. That is a huge motivation for us. Thank you. Thing 7. Never be a people pleaser. In many relationships, men often feel the need to please the woman they are interested in, especially in the early stages. This might manifest as agreeing with everything she says, saying yes to all of her requests, or constantly trying to avoid conflict in order to keep her happy. While it's important to be considerate and kind, there's a subtle yet powerful danger in trying to be a perpetual people pleaser. When you make the entire focus of your life about making her happy, you not only lose touch with your own identity, but you also risk devaluing yourself in her eyes. Why this is a mistake. People-pleasing comes from a place of insecurity. When you're always trying to make someone else happy, you are signaling that their happiness is more important than your own. Women, like men, are attracted to individuals who stand firm in their values and who don't bend over backward to seek validation from others. No one finds someone who is constantly shifting to please others attractive. It comes across as desperate and ultimately unappealing. Moreover, this type of behavior can create an imbalance in the relationship, where one person is always trying to make the other happy, but at the cost of their own needs and desires. How to stop being a people pleaser? Embrace your own opinions. It's okay to disagree with her. Disagreement doesn't mean disrespect. It's a chance for both of you to understand each other's perspectives. When you share your thoughts openly and assertively, you are showing her that you are your own person with your own beliefs and values. Prioritize your own needs. Never put someone else's needs above your own consistently. Relationships should be a mutual give and take. You should never feel like you're losing yourself or compromising your core values just to keep her happy. Set strong boundaries. Learn to say no. Boundaries are a sign of self-respect, and any woman worth your time will respect your boundaries. If she doesn't, it's not about her not liking you. It's about her not valuing your autonomy. Remember, a relationship should not require you to change who you are to fit someone else's needs. A woman respects a man who can stand firm in his beliefs and desires without fear of rejection. Being your authentic self is infinitely more attractive than being a shadow of someone else's expectations. Thing 8. Never be overly available. While it's important to show interest and be there for someone you care about, being overly available is one of the quickest ways to kill attraction. When a man is constantly at her disposal, always available to talk, meet up, or cater to her emotional needs, it can give the impression that his life revolves around her, which is not only unappealing, but also unhealthy for the relationship. The key to attraction is maintaining a balance between being available and keeping some level of mystery and independence. Why this is a mistake? Over-availability communicates a lack of other interests or priorities, which often leads a woman to feel like she is the sole focus of your life. No one wants to feel like the center of someone else's universe all the time. It's a heavy and suffocating position to be in. Women are naturally attracted to men who are independent, who have their own passions, careers, and lives outside the relationship. When a man shows that he has a rich, fulfilling life beyond her, it naturally adds to his allure. The attraction isn't about being distant, but about being a man who's not constantly dependent on her for validation, happiness, or companionship. How to stop being overly available. Build and nurture your own life. Spend time on your hobbies, your career, your friends, and your personal growth. A man who is busy living his own life will appear more intriguing and independent. It's essential that you have something to do, other than waiting for her texts or calls. Don't be afraid to have your own space. You don't need to be available to her 24/7. Make sure to set aside time for yourself and your own activities. This will not only give her the space to miss you, but will also give you the opportunity to develop a more interesting and well-rounded life. Take your time to respond. If you are always quick to respond to her messages or calls, it can lead to a feeling of urgency and dependency. By taking your time, you communicate that your world doesn't revolve around her and that you have other priorities. It's not about playing games or being manipulative. It's about being confident enough in who you are to not feel the need to be always available to her. A woman will respect a man who maintains his own life, goals, and priorities, and this makes him more attractive over time. If you're still with me, you're beginning to understand the power of independence. Remember, it's not about playing games. It's about maintaining your own life, passions, and goals. If you've already started creating that space for yourself, comment below. I'm building a life that stands on its own. Let's see who's truly taking action. Thing 9. Never be afraid to show vulnerability. Stoicism teaches us the importance of strength in adversity, resilience in the face of challenge, and maintaining composure even in difficult circumstances. But being stoic doesn't mean suppressing all emotions or never showing vulnerability. In fact, true strength lies in the ability to acknowledge your emotions without letting them dictate your behavior. A man who is vulnerable and open about his struggles is often far more attractive than one who hides behind a mask of indifference or invulnerability. Why this is a mistake? Being emotionally closed off can create a barrier in a relationship. A woman wants to feel like she knows the real you, not just the strong or perfect version of you. When you fail to express your vulnerabilities or struggles, you create an emotional distance that can cause her to pull away. This isn't about dumping your emotional baggage on her, but rather about being emotionally authentic. A man who can openly share his challenges, fears, or weaknesses without turning it into a dependency or pity-seeking behavior fosters a sense of intimacy, trust, and connection. How to stop hiding your vulnerability. Allow yourself to be human. It's okay to express when you're feeling stressed, overwhelmed, or uncertain. Share these feelings with her, not for sympathy, but to foster a deeper connection. Don't hide your fears. Let her see the real you. Fear is a natural part of the human experience. A man who can be open about his fears shows confidence in his emotional intelligence. Ask for support when needed. Being strong doesn't mean never needing help. It means knowing when to lean on others and knowing you don't have to do everything alone. Let her support you in times of difficulty, which can strengthen the bond between you. By embracing vulnerability, you show that you are secure in your own strength and that you can face life's challenges without hiding behind a facade. Women respect men who are emotionally intelligent enough to show their true selves, as it shows depth and maturity. Hey, thanks for sticking with me all the way to the end. In a world where so many men bend, break, and beg just to get attention or approval, a man who stands firm and unshaken is rare. And that's exactly the kind of man you should strive to be. So ask yourself this: are you the kind of man that a woman can't help but respect, admire, and trust because of your strength and integrity? Or are you just another man, constantly seeking her approval, trying to fit into a mold of what you think she wants? Here's the truth. You can't control anyone else's feelings or reactions, but you can control how you show up in the world. You have the power to stand firm, to embrace your values, and to be the best version of yourself, no matter what. The choice is yours, and the men who choose to remain unshaken, who value themselves and hold their ground, will always have respect, not only from women, but from everyone they meet. So take this as a reminder. Don't ever lose sight of who you are. Don't compromise your principles. Instead, build yourself into a man that others respect, not because you demand it, but because your actions and character speak louder than anything else. If you found this valuable, don't forget to subscribe for more insights that'll help you grow stronger, sharper, and more grounded every day. Stay strong, stay true, and I'll see you in the next one.